Welcome to the Dad, Coffee, and Kids podcast, where caffeine-powered dads look to level up as fathers. We talk about life as a dad with young kids while managing work, family, and finances. That said, grab another cup, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Dad, Coffee, and Kids podcast. Today I wanted to discuss and share why I'm learning to ski. Now, before we dive in, it's important to note that I've been snowboarding my entire life for as long back as I can remember. And I've been fortunate enough to snowboard all over the place, from Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Connecticut, and also even got out to hit Breckenridge in Colorado, which was amazing. Now, even though I know those Colorado and a lot of resorts in the area, really resorts in the US are under fire because they're so expensive, but we could talk about that another time. Now, while I love snowboarding, the last few years I've really been thinking a lot about essentially what's best for our family, and what are we going to teach our kids, and what kind of trips do we want to take as a family as our boys get older. Now, my kids will be 4 and 2 next winter, and we'd love to start teaching them either to ski or snowboard. But the constant conversation has been, but which should it be? And now, while I snowboard, my wife actually skis. And our conversation really came down to two things: safety and longevity. And essentially, we feel it's safer if we're both able to help our kids learn, right? Whether it's just for their safety on the mountain after they take their initial lessons. Highly recommend for anyone looking to ski or snowboard, or even teaching your kids, let them have lessons first. Get them lessons, pay for them, totally worth it. But so outside of that, and even after they have a day with their instructor, how can we both be there to help them, right? If our kids are learning to snowboard, and essentially I'll be the only one helping them, and vice versa. If they're skiing, my wife would be the only one. And so aside from that, we also I've been convinced that skiing is also ultimately better for longevity as well. Okay, so the safety aspect of being able to help our kids, because we're both solely focused on one, skiing or snowboarding, and then also for us as adults, the longevity side of it. And this really hit me when I stopped to think in the last few years. I haven't been snowboarding nearly as much as I would love to. Obviously, with little kids, it's really difficult to just find any time to do that type of stuff. But when I would get to the mountain or resort, I'd look around and I'd really try to pay attention to how many older people I've seen snowboarding. If it's not like a teenager or maybe someone our age, I don't see that many people snowboarding as they get older. And that was really eye-opening to me. It seemed like tons of families were out there skiing with their kids and all this stuff. And if you are a snowboarder, you'll know what I mean, where you're kind of on a transitioning from one run to the next, one trail, and you kind of get caught in that section of the run that starts to plateau. And I'm sure everyone's seen the snowboarders hopping on one leg trying to make it, where the skiers just glide on right past with their ski poles. So I'd be lying if I said that aspect did not play a role into this decision. But with that said, we feel it would be better for our family if I were to learn to ski, and then in return, hopefully starting next year, our kids will start to learn to ski as well. And going forward, we can take ski trips as a family. That would be obviously awesome. It's something we both love the winter, and to be able to share that time in an activity like that with our kids would be amazing. And for me personally, as dads, again, as hands-on dads, and trying to be active as much as possible with our kids and showing up and being there for our kids, it doesn't leave nearly as much time as we were used to in another life. And in another life, I just simply mean pre-kids, right? So I've been feeling the urge and have been really wanting to take up a new sport or learn something new, hobby, whatever it is. And I now view learning to ski as kind of the ultimate task there for myself, from all aspects, right? Just actually picking up the sport, learning how to do it, doing it safely and being confident and comfortable on the mountain. And then also just learn enough and get good enough to be able to then go ahead and help teach my kids. So thankfully my wife is a really good skier. So I do plan on taking lessons, but just for the sake of time and really, this is the first season I've started to learn to ski. She has taught me, and she's done a phenomenal job. I think I've picked it up pretty quickly, and we didn't bicker or argue at all. I've talked to a few people, and there's an ongoing joke out there that one of the quickest ways to a divorce is to have your husband or wife teach you how to ski. So I thought that was pretty funny. But no, it's been great. I've learned a lot from her. She's a great teacher, and I'm really looking forward to it. So for all you dads out there, I highly recommend, if you don't ski or snowboard, go ahead and pick one of them up. I definitely think that it's a good challenge. It is something where obviously you need to live in an area where there's resorts nearby and you get snow, or mountains nearby and you get snow. But I highly recommend, if you're within an hour of a mountain, go ahead and learn, take a lesson or two, and then just get out there as much as you can, even though it probably won't be that much or that often. But get out there when you can, and more importantly, do it for your kids too. Because again, if you live within an hour of a mountain, it is such a great sport and such a great hobby and family time with your kids, right? Being able to spend that time, you're not just playing in the living room or in the backyard, which are great, but you're getting out there, you're exploring. It's something different and new every single time, and it's just amazing. I can't wait to be able to go with my kids. We are a big hiking family. We love going hiking. There's a beautiful state park nearby us called Letchworth State Park. We go there every season. We try to go a few times a year. And I kind of view skiing and snowboarding as a little more advanced version of hiking, right? You need arguably a little more gear. And now I'm talking about basic level hiking. Of course, hiking can be dangerous, and I'm sure you can get decked out in pretty expensive gear, but you can also just pack up the car, put shoes on, and go hike too. And that's more along the lines of what I'm talking about. So I view skiing as a little more advanced version of that, but something that can be done in the winter. So you can hike when the weather's nice or seasons are changing, and then when there's snow on the ground, you and your family can still do a similar task and hit the mountain in a different way. And one personal goal for my wife and I, and again, this played another role in me learning to ski, is I kind of mentioned earlier how ticket and resort prices are crazy in the United States right now. And I mean, it is true. I don't know exactly, but if you search what a day ticket is at Breckenridge or any of those big resorts, even the ones up in Vermont, they're upwards of close to $200 or more a day. And you can go to some beautiful world-class resorts in Europe for half or a fraction of that cost. Obviously, there's more to it, right? There's airfare, lodging, and all that stuff. But you can make the argument you'd have to fly from New York or the East Coast to Colorado, and you're kind of doing the same stuff. So that's a goal of ours as a family. We would love to take our kids skiing in Europe one day. Go to the French Alps, go to Switzerland, go into Austria. We've been to those places before. We were in Austria. We took a gondola up I think it was called like Five Fingers or something. I'll include it in the show notes. Don't hold me to that if that's not the name. But it was this amazing mountain and viewpoint in Austria, and we got snowshoes because there's so much snow at the top to walk to this viewpoint, and there was just, you can see off to the side where the trail was, and there was just so many people skiing, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. It was unlike anything I've ever seen, and that's something we would love to do with our kids. So that's a big goal for us as well. But back to if you don't do either, I highly recommend at least learning one. If learning to snowboard is going to get you out there, then go do it. I love snowboarding. Again, I've done it my whole life, but I just feel for my family, it's better if I learn to ski for the reasons I gave before, including the safety of both of us being able to help and teach our kids the same, being skiing, and then also the longevity of it, something I feel that I will be able to do longer and longer into life. And then if you already do snowboard, or if you're kind of in the same position I am where you're just not sure which one to do, and you're in a position where you can go either way, I'd recommend learning to ski. If you are already doing that, similar to how I am, would love to hear how it's going for you, what tips you've learned, what you need to work on, and we can learn from each other, and everyone can learn. So go ahead and let us know. But go ahead, get out there, enjoy the winter. If you're in a place that gets snow, or this year ice, stay safe, and I'll see everyone on the next episode.